Okay. Hi everybody, my name's Hayley and I've come to the studio today to film a basic mat Pilates short class for you. I'm going to be incorporating work standing up initially and also some work on the mat, but I won't be using any equipment. So hopefully it should suit the majority of the people, and if there's new people that haven't tried Pilates, this will give you a slight insight into it. As I said, it's quite a small class, so Pilates is pretty vast and we constantly learn about ourselves when we're doing Pilates, and we can be practicing it for years and we're still constantly evolving and learning about our bodies. So this will just give you an idea. Please listen to the adaptions. Some of the movements can be quite challenging and can be quite deceptive. So listen to the options that I give, particularly if you're new, if you have any lower back problems, if you have any injuries. I hope to be able to work around them. And enjoy. If you're interested in learning more, then obviously you can come and do longer classes, but let's get started, get nice and warm, take a moment at the beginning of class to get focused so that we can concentrate and make the best of the class. So let's start by just turning your toes slightly outwards and standing up. Really tall, dropping our shoulders backwards and downwards. We look at posture, we look at flexibility, we look at mobility. We look at strengthening the whole body, and there's a big focus on training our deep abdominal muscles, and that's what I'll be talking all the way through the class about. But initially, let's bring the hands to our rib cage. There is a specific way of breathing in Pilates. Let's take a moment, connect with our breath by taking a deep breath in through your nose and then a slow breath out through your mouth. And the reason I've brought my hands up onto my rib cage is this is where we should be channeling that breath. We take a deep breath in and we feel that rib cage lift and open, expand. Our fingers will slightly draw away from each other, and then as we let that breath out, we can feel the fingers slightly coming back towards each other. And at the same time, we can then start to engage our very deep abdominal muscles, just that little bit lower down. Simple feeling of imagining a belt, tightening it just that bit, so that we pull our belly button to our spine, but try and relax everywhere else. Let's close the eyes for a moment. Slow the breathing. Try and bring a little bit of focus. And if you feel distracted, just take this minute or so to let that breath help you relax. And if there's tension and tightness in the face, every time we exhale, hopefully we can feel that tension release. But what we'll do now is bring our hands back to your sides and drop your chin into your chest and do some nice neck rolls. So bring your head over to the right, over to the left. So a fairly slow start to the class. Just making sure we're ready for the next half an hour, where we'll be thinking about our movements, how we execute them to get the best results. Let's roll the head all the way round. Keeping the mouth just a little bit open, allowing your tongue to roll. And then let's roll the head right away to the back of the room. Leave it there, open the mouth wide, and then try clenching your jaw shut and releasing it a few times. Feel across our forehead, relaxing and smoothing. Feel that breath washing over the face, the chest, down those arms, through your hips, your legs, and to your toes. Slowly bring the head back to the centre and slowly reopen the eyes. Then we'll bring our toes more towards the front of the room. So that gives us a moment so that we're calm. Let's take a breath in and stretch. Bring the hands down in front of you with a slight bend through your elbows so that we can feel across the top of our shoulders stretching. Taking a nice breath in as you come up with the arms, and a slow breath out as they come down. Okay, let's come up onto our toes. Now balance, we look at quite a lot through Pilates. We control our balance through those deep abdominal muscles I mentioned. So again, that imagery, drawing your belt a little tighter. Each time we come up on the toes to keep ourselves balanced. Good. This time as we come up, we're going to take a side stretch with our right arm. And then lift. And then do that with the left arm. Good. And then both arms we're then going to twist over to the right, come back up to the centre, rebalance, and then over to the left. And then bring the arms down for that shoulder stretch. Good, nice start. Let's do that again. Come up, stretch over to the right. Try and push those hips a little bit further across now. We're always looking for length throughout the class, creating long, lean muscles through lots of stretching and lots of twisting to help mobilise the whole body, particularly the spine, which you'll hear me talk quite a lot about throughout the class. Good, one more time, stretch right, stretch left, and then the twist. And that shoulder stretch to finish. Okay, let's start to move on now. Coming up, but now circle the arms behind you, come down into a squat, and then lift, and the side stretch. Perfect. Can we do that again? A squat down, and then a side stretch the other way. As we come down into that squat, try and lift the arms a little higher towards the ceiling. You'll start to feel the muscles in your back activate. Sitting right down onto those heels as you come into that squat position. Maybe curling the toes slightly upwards. This time, instead of doing a side stretch, let's twist. And squat. And do the twist the other way. So we can see we're doing stretching, we're doing twisting, just very subtle movements as we begin the class. This time we're going to move on, come down into that squat position and hold here. Good. Now thumbs are up to the ceiling. Sit right down onto those heels, push the bottom out, but keep the chest lifted and your shoulders down. And then one twist it, we're going to circle that arm to the right, back to the middle, and to the left. Now this will start to bring our heart rates up, keeping this low position into that squat. And a very slight sort of pulsing movement. Yeah. Exhale as you bring that arm behind you. Inhale as you bring it backwards. So you're probably beginning to feel your heart rate coming up now. Breathing is getting a little bit harder. Come on, let's go just for a little longer. Maybe looking at that hand as you bring it round, so there's movement in the neck as well. 3 more. And 2. And 1. And lift. And we're going to do arm swings forwards now. Exhale as you swing them. Inhale as you lift them. Well done. Okay, we're going to do that again. Start to feel warmer, hopefully. Let's lift those arms directly in front of you and twist. A little bit louder than I like it. Oh, we're beginning to feel a slight burning down the front of the legs as well. This is what we mean about Pilates. Quite deceptive. Moments where it can become quite challenging. 3 and 2 and 1 and lift and swing those arms. Okay, now to make sure you're really warmed up and ready to come onto the floor for our mat work, we're going to come down one more time. Now thumbs are up to the ceiling. Bring both arms behind you, turn your thumbs down. So there's shoulder rotation by doing this. Here we go, let's go 10. 9. 8. 7. Oh yes, I'm beginning to feel it. 6. Oh, 5. 4. 3. 2. Oh, here we go. Swing last time. Oh yes. For 4. And 3. And 2. And remember those little side stretches that we did right at the beginning? Let's come back to these. Stretch sideways. And the twist. And then that final shoulder stretch. Good work. Okay, let's drop the shoulders down, and we need to do some rolling down to make sure our spine is stretched before we head to the floor. So drop the chin in. Just imagine literally that you're glued to a wall and you're going to peel yourself very slowly off the wall, coming down, releasing that spine one vertebrae at a time, and then you'll get to a point where you just hang. Don't force it, just hang there. Maybe a slight shift of your weight across your feet, so towards your toes, back towards your heels, with a nice soft knee. Trying to lift the tailbone a little higher. Just allow that head to hang, the shoulders to relax. Just feeling the back of the legs stretching all the way through the spine from your tailbone right the way down. And then a scoop of your belly, and we come back up. And again, we restack. Imagine that wall. One vertebra on top of the other, drop of the shoulders, and then that big stretch up. Good, I'm going to go for one more of those. Chin inwards, and roll. This time, let's hang here a little bit longer, folding the arms. Take the feet a little tiny bit further apart, and then a very gentle sway from one side to the other. This is really nice to release the low part of your back, your lumbar spine. Lovely gentle sway from one side to the other. And then as we come through the centre, drop the hands, restack again, roll down. Keep that roundness through the spine as you get right the way to the top, and you can drop those shoulders and straighten it back up again. Okay, so that's the standing part of the class now. Let's come down onto the floor. I'm going to move straight into the back section. Again, it's quite a short class. The movements, the exercises, not that many of them, and probably the repetitions I do in this class won't be as many as what you would get in a normal class. So just bear that in mind. We're going to lay down onto our bellies and bring our hands around, so you can just rest your forehead on the back of your forearms. Feet should be about hip width apart and nice and flat. Now the first thing I want you to do is just roll your backside slightly. When we do the back exercises, we have to think quite a lot about what we do, because naturally it's easier just to tense our backside, use this area, than use the muscles in our back. So, as well as rolling the backside, I want you to start to tighten your belly. Imagery, we use it a lot in Pilates. Imagine something underneath your tummy, maybe a little pea, an egg, whatever you prefer. And basically we want to make sure that we don't push down into the floor with your tummy. And then all you're going to do initially is lift your head and chest upwards and then downwards, which will probably seem very, very simple. And a few of you may think, well, that's a bit easy. But we need to warm the back up like we do any other part of the body. As you lift your chest up, what I want you to be careful of is that instead of using your back, you're actually pushing yourself up a little bit using your arms. There shouldn't be any movement through the legs, and there shouldn't be any tightening in the backside. But because this movement's quite small, even if you've got an injury in the back, a weak back, You should probably be able to do this fairly easily, keeping the feet down, keeping the backside relaxed. We always breathe in as we prepare our movements, and then we exhale as we execute them. So as we lift, that's when we're exhaling. So remember I said about options. I will be changing the exercises bit by bit. If you think that option is not for you, or you have a go, and you think, no, I'm not doing it right, it is an option, like I said. Go back to what you were doing. First option is just to extend our arms. We're going to lift one arm, and then we're going to lift the other arm, which again is quite simple. Be a little bit careful that you don't lean over, so as you're lifting your arm up, make sure you don't twist and lean onto that other arm. And breathe. Think about shoulders drawing down away from our ears. And I know obviously you will have to look at the screen as we change the movements, but ideally you want to try and keep a nice straight line from our head down towards our feet. Let's try both arms. But as we lift up, this time we're going to slide our arms out. So imagery again, not so much imagery. Letters. As you come up, letter I. As you come out, letter T. Letter I. And down. And all this movement with the upper body, with the arms. There's a real contrast that the legs are perfectly still. Watch for that clenching of your backside. We will be moving and lifting our legs in a moment, but for the time being, just the upper body. Chin tucked in, belly button drawn in, and breathing. Okay, so the back should be getting a little bit warmer. We'll do one more of those, and then I'm going to again move on. Option. Think of breaststroke now. Instead of bringing the arms out to the side, we're going to lift, and we're going to circle all the way round and through, and then down. So that's one single breaststroke. Inhale as you circle the arms, exhale as you push them through, slowly lower down. Let's try not to crash back down onto the mat each time. You're probably starting to feel a little uncomfortable. And I think that word describes Pilates perfectly. If it's feeling uncomfortable, you're probably doing it right. Okay, if you want to work a little harder, let's do more of these. Instead of just one, I'm going to circle around, keep my chest lifted for 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then bring the arms round, keep the chest lifted. Now we're going to lift just one leg up, then the other leg up, and we're going to come into what we call flutter kicks, so tiny kicks. Now, let's try not to clench the back side. Let's try and use the muscles right down in the low part of the spine, yeah? So, belly's nice and tight, whole leg lifted off the floor. Let's count for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Come up again, immediately straight into position, and kick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. We've got 2 more sets of these. Lift, scoop, and kick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. As you come up, really try and stretch down along those arms. Pull those shoulders down away from your ears. Here we go. 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. To finish the back section, obviously it's quite a short section compared to normal classes. We come forward with the arms, we're going to lift up both ends, opposite hand, opposite foot tapping the floor, like you're swimming. Here we go. Come on, let's breathe. Belly nice and tight. 10, 9, 8, 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, 3, 2, and 1, underneath the hips, hand underneath the shoulders, and a nice curl all the way upwards and then downwards. Good. Draw that belly up into the back and then push that tailbone. One more time. Okay, I'm going to move on fairly quickly and actually, instead of doing more stretching, this exercise incorporates a bit of a stretch, yeah, a twist. Tricep work, hands directly under the shoulders. We come into a straight line from our head to our knees, unless when you move into your press and as you come back up, you find that your back arches, then you actually have your feet closely into a box press up. So there's the two options, yeah, this position or this position. As we come up each time, I mentioned twisting, we're going to lift one arm up to the ceiling. So it's a really good exercise. It works our triceps, but it also gives our spine a bit of a twist. Obviously working the back, so you need to do that. Let's come down, elbows nice and tight to the sides. Turn the opposite way, breathe in as you lift your arm. And down we go. Be really careful that your elbows don't go out sideways. You want to point them down towards the hips, skimming along the side of the body. That was 8. Exhale as you press, inhale as we lift and twist. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Final one, please. Well done. Okay, so let's come all the way back and turn over now. We're going to start your abdominal work. Laying down, we're going to keep the feet down, first of all on the floor. Again, I'll be offering options. If you do know that you have maybe a slight problem with your lower back, we normally lay down feet quite close to our backside. If not, you can walk them a bit further out. Okay, arms over the top, and as you do that, we call it anchoring. I want you to pull that belly button down and inwards. So there's a little bit of daylight between your back and your back of the floor, but not too much. We don't want to be arching our back. Take a breath in, tuck your chin in slightly, exhale, roll up. Inhale, roll down. Again, simple movements. We need to make sure the abdominal muscles warm up gradually. And there is a slight bit of technique when we do abdominal work. Quite often we do see people, tummy's actually pushing outwards rather than inwards. It's called doming. So every time we come up, or every now and again, just have a quick glance down at that belly button. Make sure we're drawing inwards and we're pushing it outwards. Remember, we should be breathing into that rib cage, the top part of the body, so that we can keep our lower abdominal muscles engaged. Good, so let's start to add a little bit of direction. So as we come up, I want you to imagine a beach ball. Grab that ball on top of your chest, wrap your arms around it, and then take it over to one side. Come back to the middle, over to the other side. And then all the way back to the floor, let's repeat that, come up. Exhale, grab that ball, and twist. As you do the twist, what I want you to try and do is keep both shoulders lifted up as high as you can away from the floor. You'll definitely start feeling these abdominal muscles if you're doing it right now. What you want to avoid is leaning over to one side. So it's a twist. Come back to the center and twist. Keeping the chin slightly tucked in helps with the build of the tension we normally get when we do abdominal work. It happens unfortunately, yeah, as those abdominal muscles tire, we tend to tense up with our neck and shoulders. So stop when you need to. If that's happening, take a moment, come back to the floor, do a shoulder roll, a neck roll. Those of you who want to maybe start working a little harder now, we can move into tabletop position. Now, tabletop position, our knees need to be in line with our hips, angled 90 degrees at the back of the knees. So what I don't want you to do is let those knees start coming into your chest. Roll up. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to add a leg drop. So as we twist to the left with the arms, we drop the right leg down. quite a lot smaller, or just keep the legs lifted here, take them back to the floor. With our legs lifted, when we lift our chest, when we twist, we're working all 4 different muscle groups in our abs. So things are really starting to heat up, literally. Are you checking that tummy every now and again? Looking for bulging. Let's draw in, anchor down. Give the shoulders a quick shrug, get them tightening up. We're doing this 2 more times. Here we go, last one. Good, now as we come back to the centre, I'm going to bring the arms round to the back of the head. Keep your chest lifted. Right, we're moving into crisscross. So elbows keep them wide, keep the shoulders up and aiming your shoulder towards your knee. Let's start slow. Breathe. Breathe. Yep. Can you feel those abdominals really firing up now? Let's move slightly quicker. And try not to pull the back of the head. You can lift your chest a little higher. Use those abs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All knees into the chest. Good going. Alright, now the next exercise, we're coming up into our elbows. Yeah. And then this is the height I want you to try and keep the chest. We're going to bring one arm forwards and then the other arm forwards. Now if you get that height, already you can feel that he's working those abdominal muscles pretty hard. Breathe, posture, drop those shoulders down. Now draw in really tight, lift those arms and come down. As we lift again, take your arms sideways. So think about rounding the spine here, straightening the spine, and then round again. But we're doing this, but using those deep, deep abdominal muscles. So if you feel maybe a little bit of shaking, if the breathing's getting harder, if that word uncomfortable has cropped up again, you're doing it right. Come on. Lift. Won't be doing that many more of these. Don't need to. Yeah. 3. 2. Oh, here we go, last one. Oh. Can you lift up one more time, because from here Good stuff. Turning over onto all fours. Let's pop an arm underneath. Obviously, we work the whole body when we're doing planks, and the shoulders in particular, we had a lot of weight in them. So let's stretch around the area. Still connected with that breath. Good, and then sliding the other arm under, exactly the same. And then as we come back onto all fours, we're going to tuck the toes under, lift our hips up nice and high, but at the same time lift our heels up really high. And then start to walk one heel down and then the other heel down. Yeah, and try and get that movement through the feet. Quite often people suffer with cramp, so we want to try and get a little bit of a walk going on. As we drop that heel, we can feel the calves stretching. And then lifting them both up again, take that deep breath in, and then lower them both down. Okay, we're going to walk the hands in. Slowly roll ourselves up, restacking your spine. And then finishing as we began, let's take a big stretch up. Remembering the little twists that we did. And that final stretch across our shoulders. Okay. Well, there you go. Like I said, it's a short class. It gives you an idea, if you've never done Pilates, what to expect if you go to the full Pilates class. For those of you that maybe do practice it regularly, hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. I'm Hayley. Let me know if you need any more information, and enjoy the rest of your day. Over and out.